How's everyone doing this evening? I just want to take my hat off to this brother because you hit it on the head in terms of what's happening in our community.
I'm insulted.
I'm here to tell you guys tonight the shift happens, and there's going to be a shift in the voting process that takes place in this country. We just created an organization called Real Men Vote, and you can check us out. Mr. Spencer is the executive director of that program. And what we're doing is going out telling people, telling men to register to vote. And even if they're registered, because we know the people we're reaching out to are Democrats, we're saying re-register as undeclared. And the reason we're doing that is we need, I say shift happens again because a lot of our people voted for Obama because they thought this big change was getting ready to happen. Unemployment in our community is higher than it's ever been. You talk about occupation. Illegal immigration has occupied our communities. So we're not only losing jobs, we're losing trade. And the Democrat Party convinces us that aid is the Band-Aid, but it's not. It's killing us, it's strangling us. And so we have, like Sonia said, you got these young sisters having babies. We kill more black people than any gang could do through abortions. So shift is about to happen, and it's going to happen with us educating folks on what's happening with history, how the Democrat, Maxine Waters, oh my God, another story. But what I want, the question I have is, this is my first Tea Party event. I was looking for some tea. When you come into our community to make this shift happen, just bring some tea. So my question is, how are you going to reach the people who are under this illusion that the Democrat Party has the solution?
How do we reach you?
You reached me because, well, see, I went to this all-black institution, greatest black college in America.
Yale.
And Howard. And I was just telling James on the way over here, the Republican Party has ensured that my alma mater is going to continue to exist. Now, the Democrat Party is allowing the DREAM Act. When I first started going to school, if you were from another country, you paid what was called an international tuition. And that was a little higher than the regular tuition, but that also subsidized the institution so it could keep running. Now we're giving away education, and again, our community is not participating. We're looking for aid instead of trade. We're looking for aid instead of opportunities to go forward. So how I got here is in our fight to make this shift happen. I'm not a loyalist to the Democratic Party. I'm not a loyalist to a candidate just because they're black. And I think right now, Obama becomes the perfect opportunity for us to say that loyalty doesn't work.
And that's the personal anecdote thing I'm talking about right there. That's what I said.
I'm going to take your point and question, and I'm going to take it to you, Sonia, and Alfonso, and Stephen. You should be insulted that I'm not taking it to you.
What do you got against pull-ups?
Many things. All I can think about, what's your name again, sir? Greg. All I can think about when Greg was talking, it was this past weekend on a show called Up, which is on MSNBC early in the morning. Chris Hayes is the host. A strategist, Melissa Harris Perry. Chris Hayes was talking about how people talk about the fact that 53% of the people pay the taxes in America, 47% don't pay the taxes. And she said, I think that statistic is racist.
And I'm sure Hayes challenged her.
It is a statistic based on who pays taxes and who doesn't. She, who happens to be a black woman, said that that statistic is racist. It has racial overtones. Just like playing basketball obviously had racial overtones. And you know, I'm a big believer in the racer meme and what it has done to America. All I could think about when Greg was talking is if the left, if MSNBC, if Huffington Post heard that conversation, sees this tape, they're going to say, Greg is a racist.
I would say Greg's a racist or Greg is a sellout. I've been doing this long enough to be called so many creative names. I think my favorite was Aunt Tom. But yeah, I mean, you've seen what happened recently to Herman Cain. Those are only said to stop him. They are setting an example that if anybody comes out like Greg or Zoe and myself, you got to stop them in their tracks. You got to stop them. You got to stop them in their communities. You got to stop the way they feel about themselves. That's all that's set up to do. Unfortunately, it's just not going to happen. And I'm so happy to see that you're doing this. I've met some other people recently that are going into the inner city and they're taking like girls to Idlewild and they're teaching them, and they're not doing it in a Republican or conservative or anything, but they're just teaching them values and how to feel about yourself as a woman and how to honor yourself and how to care about your future. And those are all of our values. So eventually, hopefully, these girls will put two and two together when it comes to making a decision about voting in life and how they want to see the country run, and they'll have that background for it.
So, when Sonia was talking about the epithets that come our way, there's an example of that projection thing. It's all you. It's all you, all day long, all day strong. You know, these sentiments that you have, you're hiding behind projection. But also a thing to look at, you know, in these communities where unemployment is high, high school dropout rate is high, people going to jail, you know, your incarceration rate is high. If you go and look at who represent these communities, all Democrat. Always. You know, so even an example would be my dad, who's a die-hard Democrat, right? No, I mean, apple doesn't fall far from the tree in terms of knuckleheadism, right? but my dad, you know, die-hard Democrat, and he's like, son, you have to understand this is how I was raised. You know, and I was like, okay, well, but still, Dad, I don't know where you get that from. You know, I understand that you grew up in the South, you know, and that's your hotbed of racism. Come on, Dad, let's go and take a look. Look at all the representation. Look at your governor, look at your congressmen, your senators, look at your governor. Almost all Democrats. All that racism that you're so bad, it's always been them. The disenfranchising, and like I said, the high school dropout rates, and all these other things that you have, whether it's the black community, whether it's the Hispanic community, whether it's rural, it doesn't matter. You go back to it, and it's always been Democrats. So there's one thing that we may really want to point out. It's like, look, man, these are the things that you're really upset about. But while I'm thinking about it, don't underestimate these people. You know, don't feel like, oh, you know, they're liberal. What do they know? You know, it's sometimes it comes down to strength in numbers, because there's a lot of these cats that don't know. You know, and if they get their way, and they are getting their way, this is why the country is going the way that it's going. So, you know, please don't underestimate it. Be ready to be fully armed. You know.
There's something very important there, is you have to understand when you're dealing with the left, especially political operatives, politics is war to them. War is politics, politics is war. They've got it backwards. And they are at it 24/7 over there. So be ready to battle them, like Zoe said, because they are going to come at you. When you start to point out facts to them, like has been happening recently, you know, we have different ways of doing it, the way they flipped it around, when you point out that, okay, that's a Democrat there, that's a Democrat there, well, the Republicans haven't let them do it. Republicans haven't let them change. They've got a new meme ready to go. They've got a meme machine that spits them out faster than you can imagine. So be ready.
We're at the witching hour, and wanted to thank you all so much for having us here. We're actually at 9 o'clock. I'm so sorry, Patrick. I really am. Can't thank you enough for having us here and allowing us to engage. As Sonia mentioned, moving this culture war is important, and your support is important. Make sure you know our websites. Make sure you know where we are on Twitter and Facebook. Make sure you know how to engage us. We would like to engage you. If we're working on projects and you want to be a part of it, let us know. We appreciate the help. A huge hand for Alfonso Rachel.